Australia attempts a comeback attempt against Greece that falls short, getting the lead down to 2 points after a 19-point deficit. Greece really nullifies Josh Giddey, but we're going to talk about it all and more. But first, we got to play that intro, which I haven't uploaded the new intro yet, so this is going to be the old one.
Tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
I see red, I see red, I see red, I see red, yeah, I see red, I see red, I see red, I see.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. Y'all saw Australia fall short in their comeback attempt against Greece, ended up losing by 6 points, 77-71. This was a game where everybody needed to step up because Greece was focused and zeroed in on Josh Giddey in this game. 9 points from Josh Giddey, going 2 of 8 from the field. He does go 4 or 5 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block, 5 turnovers, unfortunately, from Josh Giddey. That assist to turnover ratio, not where you wanted to be. And this was a game where you could tell from the onset, the early stages of this game, Greece knew the key to stopping Australia was to disrupt Josh Giddey, and they did that extremely well. Australia probably now is going to be eliminated. It's not 100% certain yet. We'll see what happens there, but you know, it's unfortunate. And you look in this game, of course, Greece was led by Giannis Antetokounmpo. He had 20 points in this game. They had also 3 other double-digit scores in this game. I'm not going to murder their last name, so I'm not even going to attempt to do that. But Australia in this game was boosted by Patty Mills with 13 points. Landale led the team in scoring with 17 points as well. He also had 8 rebounds. Bulls, go out and get Jock Landale, please, to add to this team. We can use some bitch forward depth, but nonetheless on that one. And Dyson Daniels also in this one with 11 points. The bench really didn't give the Australia much in this one. Dante Exum didn't have a really big game or anything like that. McVay only had 3 points as well in this game. Matthew Dellavedova also had 3 points in this game, but it ultimately was, even when Australia went on that run in the fourth quarter to get the lead down by 2, that was with Josh Giddey on the bench. And again, not to slight Josh Giddey or say it's just because of Josh Giddey, but at that point, Greece couldn't zero in on the heart of what keeps Australia going. And it was, and Australia used that to their benefit by attacking, playing some solid defense. But then Greece came marching right back. The second and third quarter is really what killed Australia in this game. They lose the second quarter 28-12. And then the third quarter, they end up winning that 14-9. But that was just an ugly third quarter for both teams. When you have only 23 total points scored in a quarter from both teams, I think that really is indicative of how ugly it was. But that second quarter really blew Australia out that game and took away their ability to really even try to really get back in that game. So, you know, it sucks, but it is what it is, man. Whole lot of Bulls. Shout out to Bull Story says, as long as Canada beats Spain, Australia advance. Okay. All right. Well, hey, let's hope that that's the case. All is well, brother. Just rolled my morning. That's crazy. That's crazy. I appreciate you going live after Australia's games, brother. Oh, yeah. Listen. I one thing about me, you guys know, I am a Bulls fan through and through. And when because with my job this offseason, right? And I look at it as not like a job to say negatively. I look at it as a positive because I get to cover. It's a pleasure to get to cover my favorite team. I want to be clear in that. But part of my job in this is to be able to talk as intelligently about the Bulls players as I can. Josh Giddey is a player that I have admitted. I haven't seen I've probably seen maybe about 35 Josh Giddey games over the course of his NBA career, just admitting it, right? And so because of that, I wanted to spend this offseason really, really kind of understanding Josh Giddey, the player that he is, what he could bring to the Chicago Bulls. So for that, luckily, it came in an offseason where international play, the Olympics are a thing. So I've been able to see a lot of Josh Giddey games. I've watched just about every game he's played this summer. So Australia's free throw shooting was a massive problem, 10 for 21 at the free throw line. That's absolutely. But all due respect, Australia is not talented outside of Josh and Patty Mills. No, I got to disagree with that. Landale is talented as well. What's going on, Kev?
What's the word, Brody?
How you feel about this game, brother?
Hey, it was a good game. It looked like Greece was going to win it running away. You know, Australia showed that they have the veteran leadership to get back into games like that. And Greece, they sustained a little bit of opportunity to make it to the next round, but they probably still out of it.
You think Greece is still out of it?
Yeah, they need more to happen. They
Yeah.
need some more people to lose. So we're gonna see though.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Australia, what do you think overall about in this game? And I think you can learn a lot from a team's the way that the player faces adversity. When you saw this game for Josh Giddey, how well Greece was really trying to focus in on keeping him from being an impact player in this game. How'd you feel about Josh Giddey's game tonight?
I mean, he played through it. He didn't really do much in the scoring department, but he was getting rebounds. He had a couple of assists late in the game that helped him get back into it. Those are the things I'm looking for from players when you can't put the ball in the basket. Are you affecting the game in other ways? And I
Mhm.
think he did that today.
Yeah, I agree. I think Josh Giddey's ability to rebound is something that is surely not really understood by a lot. You look at a player, and I'm not comparing him as a player, so please, you keyboard warriors don't get to typing this. But the way that we think the Bulls are going to play, try to get faster, get out in transition. Magic Johnson was able to do that for the Lake Show because of the Showtime Lakers, because of his ability to start the fast break with how he rebounded the ball so well. Josh Giddey averages 7 rebounds almost a game for his career. And as a point guard, for a team that likes to get out, if this team does try to get out in transition, having your point guard be able to start the fast break on you and everybody just be able to just go run, attack the ball because our point guard is the one who got the rebound. I think people aren't really understanding how much that could make the fast break even more dangerous for the Chicago Bulls next year.
I mean, if we paid attention to the last time the Chicago Bulls were dangerous, they had a point guard who could do that, who did that.
Yeah.
And frankly, today's numbers, even though he was only 2 for 8 from the field, he was 9 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. That's affecting the game in positive ways, and when you can't score. But yeah, absolutely, Lonzo Ball, that's what he did. He had the hockey assist is what they refer to it as a lot that season. Whereas even if he didn't get the main assist, he passed it to the person who passed it to the person. So getting that fast break going and speeding up the game for the Bulls is important because they couldn't really do it with the core of Vooch, Levine, and DeMar DeRozan. Now you've gotten younger. You got people that's going to be willing to run with you. I'm excited to see what Josh Giddey is going to bring to this team once he gets to Bulls training camp.
For sure. Yeah, I think Josh Giddey, had the title of the episode yesterday, in which Josh Giddey and Kobe White as a backcourt, I think are going to be a lot better than some people are giving them credit for. They're going to have their things they're going to have to work out. And kinks for sure is just being new teammates that need to get familiar with each other. But I really think that it's going to be an overall solid experience, and having those two guys as your backcourt is going to be some fun basketball to watch as well. But since I got you, Kev, how do you feel about the Olympics? So when you look at them, of course, we know Team USA is the favorite. They should be XYZ. Which team do you think is right now the biggest threat to Team USA from the Olympic basketball that you've gotten to see?
Well, I got two. It has to be, well, maybe three. Has to be Canada at number one, right? Coming into it, we knew that they had the deepest roster in terms of NBA players and veteran players who've played in a couple of Olympics as well. The Olympics is different than the NBA. These guys are playing for their country. It's like you get 10 extra skill points to allocate to yourself when the Olympics start. And you see players that don't normally do certain things doing it in the Olympics. So I like Canada. Germany is a team that I'm thinking is a sleeper simply because of the same reason. Dennis Schroeder over there, the Wagner boys over there. I don't think they can beat USA, but I do think they're going to be a team that possibly medals. And man, it was a third team that I was thinking about. I can't think of them right now. But no, France. It has to be France. They're the whole home country, and they got ref cooking. The last time I seen them when they played Japan, they
They
just made
definitely got
yeah.
home cooking, bro. You don't see that a lot in the Olympics.
Yeah, so they got home cooking. They made sure that France stayed in that game. They threw Rui Hachimura out for something that could have been just easily not necessarily a flagrant foul, as they call it, an unsportsmanlike foul over there. And then that three that they called a foul on that forced overtime was questionable as well. So France with the home cooking, they have a chance to keep it close enough to steal one from the United States or even medal in this competition.
For sure, for sure. I agree with all the teams that you picked there. And let's be clear, Team USA has shown themselves to be susceptible, especially to a team that just doesn't give up defensively and is going to attack them offensively every possession. And that Canada definitely has the chance to do that. I know Canada doesn't have the stars that Team USA has, but they have the role players that are going to go out there and do the dirty work and defend well, and that's something you got to look out for if you're Team USA.
But they don't have as many stars, but they got stars.
They got
SGA is a
stars, yeah.
star. Jamal Murray is a star. Dylan Brooks is, yeah. But, those two guys, Jamal Murray and SGA, they know how to win basketball games. Jamal Murray's a champion. SGA improved his game every single season. The Team USA know they're going to be in a dogfight if they have to play these guys.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Yeah, that's what's up. This game was this was a fun game. The Olympics so far, I'll say this: every Olympic game that I've watched, and I've watched probably every men's basketball game, but like 2 or 3 has been exciting as in its own way. And so this is a really like you can tell that. I know it's a buzzword in the NBA, but the parity is getting closer and closer internationally to where like when teams are bringing their best in the Olympics and the level of competition has been fun to watch. I know this is Greece's first win, but even this with them being this first win, they've played some competitive games as well.
Every single game they played has been competitive, and it just goes to show you that Giannis ain't enough. Like they only got one win. You would expect them to have, more than that. They only played 3 games, so. But when they ran up against Canada, Canada had a more talented team, and they beat them. So it's just one of those things where Giannis. Today he played a really good all around game, especially every time Greece looked like they were coming back. I mean, every time Australia looked like they were coming back, Giannis had a big basket. He even had a transition 3 late in the game. So
Yeah.
I like what I saw from him. But yeah, man, all of these games have been competitive, and it's just fun to see. It's good for us as basketball fans because we went straight from the finals to the summer league to Olympic to in WNBA as well to Olympic basketball, back to WNBA, and the NBA is going to be following up. We pretty much have had year-round basketball and it's not normal for us.
Yeah, I mean this is always a fun time of year when there's international play going on. Yeah, and the Bulls off season has been more exciting than what the last couple ones have been because of all the change as well. So this has been a fun off season, but we're getting closer and closer to the NBA season started. I'm really excited about it. Kev, you haven't got to talk a whole lot of Bulls lately. Before we go here, last question that I have for you. How do you feel about the Bulls off season and coming into this season for the Chicago Bulls? Like, what are some of the things you're most excited to see in the Bulls season so far?
Well, moving on from DeMar DeRozan was necessary in everything he did for the Bulls. He made the Bulls watchable. Even with all the things that we didn't like about him, he did make the Bulls watchable. We knew that his midi game was going to be on point. We knew that he was going to will the Bulls to some wins, and he did. But let's just be frank. They had 1 first-round playoff exit and then 2 play-in tournaments. That's just not what we need as fans. So, bye to Debo, man. We appreciate what he did. Then you have the drafting of Montes Buzelis. I did not expect him to fall to what was it, number 11 or 9?
Yeah,
What was it? So
number 11.
so for him to be a top 5 graded quality pick and ended up coming to his hometown team, and what I've seen from him in the offseason, what we saw from him in the summer league, I was impressed with the young kid. If nothing else, because obviously he's not going to just step onto the floor and be Victor Wembanyama or one of these other instant impact players, but he's going to grow with this team. He's young. Grabbing Josh Giddey as well is dope. Losing Caruso hurts because I thought we could have got a little bit more for him, but that remains to be seen with what Josh Giddey brings to the table. But hey, I'm excited about the season, really. Even though I don't expect the Bulls to win much, I do think they can be one of those sneaky under the radar teams that might end up, in a play-in situation toward the end of the season again. And I prefer this team to be a play-in type team than the teams that we had when they were selling us dreams of playoff hopes and wins and consistency. And now what remains to be seen is Zach LaVine and Vucevic. Will they be on this team for the duration of the season, or are they going to be traded at some point through the year?
Lonzo, Vooch, Zach. How many of those 3 are still on the roster at the end of the season?
I think Lonzo's going to be here. I think he's going to have to play through the season in order to try to earn another NBA contract. Because if he doesn't play, he's probably going to be out the league or get a weak contract somewhere else as a feeler. Vooch, I believe, is gone, and I think Lonzo's gone, but not because he's a bad player, but more so because of just the bad blood that he has with the organization right now. I doubt that he'll be able to make it through the season. Especially if he starts off strong and teams start calling the Bulls. Because when the Bulls were calling teams, they weren't trying to hear what they had to say.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. Any last thoughts, Big Kev, before we get up out of here, man?
Oh, man, listen. Y'all already know how we do over here with the Chi-Town Sports, man. We're gonna talk about everything. It was fun watching the Bears last night. That was a good time with the whole gang. And hey, the Team USA, they got their hand, they work cut out for them. This is not a cakewalk, and there has been parity. There's no two ways about it. You know, these guys all have players that, well, most of these teams have players that play in the NBA or play some college ball or played against NBA players. So we just can't just ignore those things and overlook it. I'm excited to see LeBron James at 40, and he's really looking good in these Olympics, man. And Kevin Durant really looking good in these Olympics. Steph Curry ain't really been looking that good. If we want to be 100,
Yeah, it's not from a shooting perspective offensively. Like he's done some playmaking things that I've liked, but yeah, Steph hasn't. There's been and Embiid too. Embiid he didn't even play in the last game, so
Embiid been looking ass.
I know, bro. This is after we left him off our most overrated players episode too. Now people are gonna kill us and be like, "See, y'all should have had him as the most overrated player." But all right, Kevin, I appreciate you coming sliding through, bro. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little under 200 away from that, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe